Marina Volkov arrived at Kelvax's laboratory with a sort of punctuality that suggested she had been prepared for this moment long before he had worked up the courage to make the call. She carried a single data pad and wore the expression of someone who had just won a bet she had placed decades ago. Behind her walked two other humans, a stern-faced man with graying temples who introduced himself as Dr. James Chen, and a younger woman whose smile was sharp enough to perform surgery. Dr. Thornridge, Marina said, her voice carrying none of the deference that Kelvax had grown accustomed to from lesser species. I see you've reconsidered my research proposal. Kelvax gestured toward his primary analysis chamber, where his latest batch of failed experiments glowed with a sort of ominous red that had become depressingly familiar. Your insights may prove valuable in our current research parameters. However, I want to be clear that this is merely a consultation. Zephyrian science remains the primary authority on all matters of biological. Dr. Thornridge, Marina interrupted, and the casual way she cut off his prepared speech made something cold settle in his stomach. How many of your people died while you were composing that little speech? The question hit like a plasma bolt to the neural cortex. Kelvax's latest reports showed mortality rates climbing exponentially across 17 Zephyrian colonies. His own homeworld had declared a medical emergency just 3 hours ago. The mathematical projections were unpleasant. The situation is manageable, he said, which was the sort of lie that would have made a Vorthan diplomat proud. Marina activated her data pad, and suddenly Kelvax's laboratory displays were showing information he had never seen before. Infection vectors mapped with surgical precision, genetic markers highlighted in ways that made his 3 millennia of medical training feel like finger painting, mortality projections that made his own estimates look optimistically naive. According to my calculations, Marina said conversationally, your species has approximately 48 hours before you hit the point of civilizational collapse. The Altarians have maybe 60 hours, assuming their telepathic networks don't accelerate transmission rates. The Vorthans are actually doing better. Their cybernetic enhancements seem to slow the process, though the end result is the same. Dr. Chen stepped forward, his expression suggesting he was about to deliver news that would ruin Kelvax's entire worldview. We've been monitoring the plague's progression since the first outbreak. The pathogen specifically targets enhanced biological systems. The more sophisticated the modification, the more catastrophic the failure. That's impossible, Kelvax said automatically, though his conviction was starting to develop some concerning cracks. Our enhancement protocols are based on fundamental biological principles. No pathogen could specifically target artificial genetic modifications, Marina finished, enhanced neural networks, cybernetic integration points. Dr. Thornridge, this plague isn't random. It's surgical. The younger human, Dr. Sarah Kim, according to her identification, pulled up a holographic display that made Kelvax's advanced equipment look like children's toys. The molecular structure of the plague rotated slowly, revealing complexities that his scanners had somehow missed entirely. The beautiful thing about the Crimson Plague, Dr. Kim said with the sort of enthusiasm usually reserved for discussing particularly elegant mathematical proofs, is how it uses your own enhancements against you. Every genetic modification becomes a vulnerability. Every neural enhancement becomes a pathway for systematic destruction. Kelvax stared at the display, his mind racing through implications that grew more disturbing with each passing second. You're suggesting this pathogen was designed specifically to target enhanced species. Oh, we're not suggesting anything, Marina said, and her smile was the sort that made predators reconsider their life choices. We're stating facts. The question is, what are you prepared to do about it? Our treatment protocols have proven ineffective, Kelvax admitted, the words tasting like defeat. Every enhancement we attempt only accelerates the plague's progression. Because you're fighting fire with fire, Dr. Chen said, you're trying to solve an enhancement problem with more enhancements. It's like trying to cure poison with more poison. Marina moved to Kelvax's medical analysis station and began inputting commands with a sort of casual familiarity that suggested she had been studying Zephyrian technology for considerably longer than should have been possible. The solution isn't more complexity, Dr. Thornridge. It's less. I don't understand. Humans, Marina said simply, represent the biological baseline that your species abandoned millennia ago. We're what you were before you decided to improve yourselves into a corner. Dr. Kim activated another display, this one showing human genetic structure alongside Zephyrian enhancement patterns. The contrast was startling. Where Zephyrian DNA showed layers of artificial modification, human genetics appeared almost primitive in their simplicity. The plague can't target what isn't there, Dr. Kim explained. Human blood carries antibodies that recognize the pathogen as foreign, but more importantly, it carries genetic information that can teach enhanced immune systems how to fight without relying on artificial modifications. Kelvax felt his worldview developing stress fractures. You're proposing that primitive human biology could succeed where advanced Zephyrian medical science has failed. We're not proposing, Marina corrected. We're offering to demonstrate. She produced a small medical scanner from her equipment case, human technology that looked laughably crude compared to Zephyrian instruments. With practiced efficiency, she drew a sample of her own blood and prepared it using techniques that Kelvax recognized as barely above medieval in their sophistication. Dr. Thornridge, Marina said, holding up the prepared sample, I'm going to cure one of your patients using nothing more advanced than basic human biology. The question is, are you prepared to watch your entire understanding of medical science collapse in real time? Kelvax looked at his displays showing the steady stream of emergency alerts from across the galaxy. Zephyrian colonies going dark. Altarian telepathic networks falling silent. Vorthon engineering casts experiencing what their reports euphemistically called structural failures. His pride warred with his desperation, and desperation was winning by a considerable margin. Patient 7, he said finally, gesturing toward his isolation chamber. Zephyrian female, age 237, full neural enhancement package. Plague progression at 87%. Projected mortality in 6 hours. Marina nodded and moved toward the isolation chamber with the confidence of someone who had done this before, which raised some interesting questions about exactly how long humans had been preparing for this moment. Dr. Thornridge, she said as she prepared the injection, I want you to understand something. What you're about to witness isn't just medical treatment. It's a fundamental shift in how the galaxy understands biological hierarchy. The injection took less than 30 seconds. The results were visible within minutes. Patient 7's neural networks, which had been flickering like dying stars, began to stabilize. Her cellular regeneration rates, which had been approaching zero, started climbing toward normal parameters. Most impossibly of all, her enhanced biological systems, the pride of Zephyrian medical achievement, began functioning properly for the first time since infection. Kelvax stared at his readings, ran diagnostics on his equipment, and stared at the readings again. According to every instrument in his laboratory, patient 7 was not just recovering, she was healthier than she had been before infection. How? He whispered. Marina began packing her equipment with a sort of casual efficiency that suggested this had been exactly the outcome she had expected. Human blood doesn't just cure the plague, Dr. Thornridge. It optimizes the interaction between natural and artificial biological systems. Your patient isn't just healthy, she's better than healthy. That's impossible. So was the plague, until it started killing your people. Marina paused at the laboratory door. Dr. Thornridge, I'm going to make you an offer. My team can provide enough treated serum to save your immediate research staff. In return, you're going to help us save the galaxy. Help you? Kelvax's voice cracked slightly. You're humans. You're supposed to be asking us for help. Marina's smile was the sort that suggested the universe was about to reveal some very uncomfortable truths. Dr. Thornridge, humanity has been preparing for this conversation for a very long time. The question is, are you ready to learn what we've really been doing while you thought we were playing with primitive technology? As emergency alerts continued flooding his screens and Patient 7's miraculous recovery defied every principle of advanced medicine he had ever learned, Kelvax realized that everything he thought he knew about humans was about to be proven catastrophically wrong. The galaxy's supposed primitives had just demonstrated capabilities that made Zephyrian medical science look like amateur hour, and they had done it with technology that barely qualified as advanced by galactic standards, which raised the terrifying question, if humans could do this with primitive equipment, what exactly were they capable of when they stopped pretending to be harmless.